Have you ever been in a state where you're growing your business, but you're kind of at this crossroads where you can't quite handle the workload, but you're also not really making the sort of money you'd expect to make with this much work? If this sounds like you, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to grow your MSP business in a way that can make stupid amounts of money while giving your clients a better product and without burning yourself out. So I was introduced to this idea of the accordion for business growth. Most of us just take each day as it comes. We're constantly growing our business, and then we're trying to solve the various problems and put out the fires that come our way. The accordion model is more of a strategic approach to growing your business. The idea here is visualized by an accordion. At one phase, you're focused purely on growth. The accordion gets bigger and filled with air. But at some point, you get to that point where you hit capacity. Now, this usually shows up in two ways. One, the workload is becoming unmanageable. Now, our first instinct to solve this is hire more people. However, this is often buffeted by the second factor, which is that you're just not making as much money as you'd like. So you're hesitant to add payroll expenses, but you also can't quite manage the workload. This is a clear sign that you're ready for the other phase of the accordion, which is focused on optimizing your business health rather than specifically growing your business. Now, there's two ways to do that. One, work on operational efficiency, or two, work on increasing revenue. If you think about the basic math of profit, and more importantly, profit margin, profit equals revenue minus expenses, with profit margin just being profit as expressed as a percentage of revenue. So to increase profit margin, you either need to increase revenue without increasing expenses, or you need to decrease expenses. If you're hiring to solve a workload problem, you may be increasing expenses at a faster rate than you're increasing revenues from more clients. This results in increased headaches without the reward of profits at the end. So we really need to focus on both inputs into the profit equation. In this first episode, we will focus on operational efficiency to reduce expenses. Stay tuned for part 2, we will focus purely on increasing revenues. Combine them both and you will start to make so much money, it feels like a cheat code. Now, when you're small or just getting started, you just need to pay the bills. We will go over how to get your ideal customer profile, but at this stage, you just need a pulse and a credit card. Let's be real, the pulse is optional. This is super typical for early MSPs. With this approach, you get a smorgasbord of clients, and often they come with a variety of technology. When you need the business, you don't want to scare them away, so you may offer to onboard whatever systems they already have. As long as they're paying clients, you're happy. But over time, you will start to hit the period where the workload is becoming overwhelming. Oftentimes, a well-meaning MSP owner will think, I just need to hire staff to help manage the workload. Stop. This is a trap. It's especially a trap if you're concerned about how a new hire is going to allow you to pay yourself a fair wage. So before you hire someone, let's look at a couple steps to reduce expenses or at least minimize the increase in expenses as you grow your company. So first, if you don't have a standard set of equipment or tools for delivering services, now is the time to fix that. Operationally, this becomes a headache because you have to interact with multiple different vendors for support. You have to be an expert on multiple firewall brands. While these seem insignificant, they can begin to add workload without any benefit to yourself or to your client. The important thing is that this problem will continue to exacerbate itself over time. So even if it doesn't feel unmanageable now, try onboarding staff having to teach them 5 different types of networking equipment. However, running a standardized equipment profile is actually better for your client as well. While the initial cost of replacing the equipment can be a negative, it allows you to standardize cybersecurity configurations. It allows you to be quicker in supporting them since you only have one method of logging into whatever console the system uses. It allows you to train new staff much more easily as well. So the first step most MSPs need to take is to begin to force their companies to comply with their standards. I worked with one MSP in an extremely small rural part of the Midwest. They couldn't pick it or choose a vertical or company size because there weren't enough clients in the market. So they had clients as small as one person and as large as several hundred. They had clients of every type and business vertical. They had over 120 clients covering 1,200 endpoints across multiple towns within a 30 to 40 mile radius. Take a second to think on how many staff you think you would need to manage this diverse workload. They had the owner who did the high-level server work, along with the sales and marketing for the business. Then they had between 1 and 2 technicians who did most of the ticketing work. That's it. Most MSPs I've worked with would start with double or triple that for a similar client base. They were able to get to this level of efficiency by standardizing their systems. Every client got the same technology, the same backups, the same cybersecurity tools, even much of the same computers. We even helped them standardize cybersecurity compliance as additional revenue offerings. When they took on new customers, they did so with a transition plan to move them to their standard. So how can you get to this level of operational efficiency? Well, it happens in 2 ways. First, any new customers you bring on need to agree to the transition plan to your new standards. You can't perpetuate the problem. This is nice because it costs you nothing. You should be at this point in your business where you're already paying the bills and hopefully yourself. So losing a sale isn't the end of the world. You're growing up to the point that you don't need any customer and you're working towards getting ideal customers. Second, your existing customers are the problem. This is a great step to learn how to have conversations with customers on how to raise prices. This is critical because episode 2 of our accordion series will have to do with increasing revenues and how to have those conversations with clients. Right now, we're solving a business problem, but we're also focused on building skills. Growing your personal development as a business owner is the most important thing for long-term success. Let me be clear about this. Your business growth is 100% hampered by you. You're the problem. You're always the problem. Your entire focus for growing your business is fixing yourself. So let's talk about how we have the discussion. There are several ways you can do this, but this script is my favorite. So here's how it goes. Due to increased costs, we are needing to raise our prices. However, you've been such a good customer, so I'm trying to find ways to help reduce this price increase on you. One of the biggest cost increases has been costs associated with supporting varying technologies. Over the past year, I've worked on a standard baseline technology stack. This actually will improve things on how we approach, cybersecurity, since we can provide a standardized configuration for your firewalls and networking equipment. It will better protect you from a potential hack that could drastically affect your business. It also allows more streamlined virtual support so we can respond quicker to issues. We're aiming at improving our response times and providing better value to you and your business. We understand that any system downtime is money lost in your business, so this will help ensure more consistent uptime going forward. If you're willing to make the investment in this newer equipment, I can give you a discount on your bill for the next 6 months, so you won't see any increase. And then after 6 months, I can still build in a 50% discount going forward from our new standard pricing. So this does 2 things. First, obviously, it pushes them to upgrade. This should help you with your operational efficiency in the future. Second, it's labeled as a 6-month discount. This means that 6 months from now, the new prices will still take effect. Psychology shows that a discount going away is much less painful than a price increase. So you're disguising the increase as a discount while also improving operational efficiency. Then you're still giving a 50% discount so they feel like they're getting a deal. Again, psychology of a deal really helps them feel a lessened blow, and often you'll have a good relationship with them. If you do have that good relationship, they're likely to be appreciative of the added value at the discounted price. The win-win is when you raise prices and the client is thankful for it. So maybe you're already standardized and super lean and still feel you need to hire additional staff. Here's the next step. The next step is to begin work on defining your business processes and systems. You want any staff to come in and have a well-defined, organized way to do the work. The more there is a system in place, the less actual management you have to do. If you don't do this, you're just replacing work problems with people problems. And trust me, work problems and technical problems are much easier to solve than people problems. I've got a whole set of episodes coming on hiring and managing people, so make sure to subscribe or follow whatever you're supposed to do if you're interested in those types of videos. Now, this whole concept applies both to business processes and toolkit. You need a solid PSA or ticketing system. You need to standardize your backup software, your cybersecurity software, everything you did in that previous step. Then you need to write down how to do certain things. Do you have a basic script you want your staff to go through when they answer the call? Is there specific documentation that is needed as part of every single ticket? What is your standard backup and restore process or new user process? You literally need to think about your entire business as a set of systems. Those systems need to be well documented and given to new employees when they are onboarded. Once you've documented your systems, you can easily hire someone and hand them a workload with a certain level of expectation that it will be done the way you want it done. If this feels overwhelming, realize that you don't need to document every system across your whole business day one. When you're thinking of hiring for a specific role, think of all of the work you want that person to do. Create those documented systems just for that job role, then hire. Then follow up 1 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months into the new hire and find systems you didn't realize you needed and document and create those. Recognize that this is a never-ending cycle and you'll have to keep up on it. Processes change. You begin to hire different types of staff for different job functions, technology changes. Keeping these systems up to date and well documented is important to make managing staff as simple and easy as possible. Now let's move on to step 3. When you're growing, you generally start by hiring help desk related staff. This is fine as those staff are generally less expensive, but take a major burden off of your shoulders. As you continue growing, the type of staffing needs become more specialized, complicated, and frankly, expensive. Before you look at hiring for these skills, take a much closer look at outsourcing. There are 3 areas this can pop up. First is to go cloud first for your infrastructure. When you're thinking about your standardized technology from step 1, often MSPs will do things, in-house or go heavy into open source technology because it's cheaper. And sure, on a direct infrastructure cost versus contract cost basis, it can be. But once you start talking about hiring staffing included, the administrative overhead of HR, payroll, management, benefits, etc., the cost reduction is minimized, but the headache increases drastically. Additionally, now you're starting to need to hire systems administrator and cybersecurity engineers to ensure everything is running smoothly and securely. These specialized employees are more expensive than a simple help desk tech. These costs begin to add up, and again, more people means more problems. Staff problems are always more difficult than solving a technical problem. So when you're looking at an on-site or homegrown backup solution, consider simply going with a cloud-only backup platform. Yes, the costs might be slightly higher, but the configuration and maintenance go down to near zero. This frees up your time and existing staff to focus on customer relationships and support over technical implementations. Simpler systems also allow you to train lower level staff to perform the duties you normally would hire a more experienced person for. Additionally, the costs are known and usually like per user or per machine. So this allows you to scale your expenses as your business grows rather than focus on upfront investment and then figuring out how to spread that cost to your clients over multiple years. For cloud services, it's a simple pass-through cost. Once you scale your business to a certain size and already have specialized staffing, then you have the opportunity to bring things in-house. But when you're smaller and focused on scaling, the simplicity of cloud products are more cost-effective than needing specialized staffing. The second area is around business management. This can be especially helpful for areas where the owner's skills are lacking or the owner hates the work, but it needs to be done. Outsourcing a CFO or bookkeeping function can be extremely beneficial for an MSP. A specialized firm can also help you understand your revenue streams and growth opportunities. Outsourcing HR and payroll functions can be beneficial. There are a lot of tools and services these days that can help automate significant portions of HR and HR-related and payroll-related processes. You can look at strategic planning and business consulting. As I mentioned previously, growing your personal skill set can have an immense ROI. The third area to consider outsourcing is where the skill set is a bit too specialized or expensive for your particular MSP size. One example of this would be like automations. You may not have the need for a full-time automation staff member, but automations can be really help streamline your business. Working with an automation firm can really jumpstart this process. Another is cybersecurity, such as a fractional CISO or even just a 24/7 SOC service. This service can provide additional service offerings to your clients to help grow revenues without having to build it fully in-house or pay the rate for current cybersecurity professionals. For cybersecurity outsourcing, we at ManageMySecurity.com can help provide those services. We recently provided an MSP a complete turnkey solution for cybersecurity compliance, and they saw significant revenue increases with minimal effort on their end. Reach out if you're interested in something like that, or subscribe to the channel and we'll just show you how we did it in future episodes. For other items like bookkeeping or HR or other potential outsourcing, just reach out to us and we can help set you up with recommendations in each of these areas based on our personal experience. The point is, by outsourcing these functions, you can gain a level of maturity that is not usually attainable by a smaller MSP, but allows you to focus on what matters most and is hardest to outsource: growing the business. A good way to think about this is it more important for me to focus on this function instead of working on building relationships with my customers and growing my business? If the answer is no, and you don't think the function is a dedicated full-time job, consider outsourcing. As you grow and reach an appropriate scale, you can bring some of these functions back in-house. And the best part is, when you do bring it back in-house, you're already set up with some best practices as a foundation to start from. So each of these strategies can help you stay lean. Rather than just hiring staff because you think it's the logical next step, you can surgically plan for sustainable growth. You can lower your cost overhead, better prepare for the future staff additions, and strategically peel off workloads in order to focus on long-term growth potential. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will look at the other half of the profit equation. How can we increase revenues with our existing customers while providing increased value? So we'll see you at the next one.